Any product in an adult store.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, probably just like a nice, smooth, elegant, maybe pink dildo. But like
Okay.
a good sized one. Something, that's gonna
Oh,
do the job.
okay. Well, you're listening to Spicy Bananas podcast, where no topic is off limits and every conversation gets a little cheeky, a little deep, and a whole lot real.
A lot of deepness around at the moment, everyone. Now, we're your hosts. This is B1, I'm B2. Two mates who sold vibrators, answered the awkward questions, and now we're making it unforgettable combos feel deliciously normal. Take it away, B1.
Deliciously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can almost taste it.
Bananas.
Yes, well, we're doing real talk on content creation, porn perception, and owning your sex life, even when you've got a partner watching. Today's guest is the definition of spicy duality. I love that. Chelsea Goucher is an intuitive coach and psychedelic facilitator who also happens to be an OnlyFans creator. Yes, you heard right. She's got the brains, the boldness, and the balls to talk about sex, porn, and self expression in a way that's equal parts smart and unapologetic. Whether you're curious about content creation or navigating monogamy with a little extra spice, this one's for you. And you.
Okay. All right. We're just going to break the ice right now and get into the balls deep of things now. Chelsea. All right. So tell us your story. How does someone go from corporate sales to OnlyFans and coaching?
Thank you. So how did it all come about? I mean, I think there was kind of two things going on in my life, kind of running parallel. The first one was I was in my corporate career. I'd hit my early 30s. I was living with my partner at the time. We'd bought a house together. I could see myself on the fast track to being in this job for the next 10 years, getting married, having kids, and being in the hometown that I'd grown up in, living a block down the street from both my parents and his parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was bumping up against this feeling of feeling like the walls were closing in on me and feeling like things just weren't lining up to be the life that I'd imagined for myself when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And while, of course, I knew that, things weren't going to be maybe the fairy tale or the grand adventure that I thought, I was like, well, why the hell not? Why can't I really try to make the best of this life I have and see what I can do with it? And so, those feelings got me kind of on my personal growth, spiritual awakening journey. And that really kind of set me off on, I did a yoga teacher certification, and I just started to explore different modalities and just different ways of thinking, different religions, different spiritual paths, different, like I said, ways of thinking, finding influencers on Instagram or people thought leaders that I resonated with. And I just really started to absorb myself into that and pretty quickly learned that I wanted to help people also on a similar path. And then, the other side of it that I don't often get to talk about quite as much, which I'm excited to talk about here on this podcast, is that, part of this awakening I was having to myself and to my true desires, my true nature, my true passions in life was that I, began to acknowledge this part of me that felt very unseen sexually and also very unsafe. A lot of stuff started coming up for me about the ways that, my partners, whether intentionally or not, I'm not saying all of them were bad men or abusive or anything like that, but just the ways that I felt very limited in my sexual expression in some of my relationships I had had. And just even things that had played out, in my family life, things that had played out with my friends in school, things that had played out in a certain way that had forced me to take on this shell of protection that I couldn't show up or be seen a certain way, or I'd be seen as a slut. I'd be seen as a threat to other women. I'd be seen as unsafe. I'd be seen as all these things. And I'd ultimately be like undesirable as a partner too. And
Okay.
so, I kind of realized that that was like part of my journey to discovering myself. And, OnlyFans was kind of like becoming like popular at the time. This was like in 2021 when I first got on it. And, it was almost like, my friends had like joked about it, but like it's something that they would never do, And then I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm going to do it. And I just started off doing like, lingerie pictures and it felt good and it was fun and I kind of just have let it evolve. So that's how I got to where I am.
And would have given you just a bit of confidence boosting too, You probably, like you said, felt like you're just trapped in this bubble. Is this what life's going to be
What
about?
we have to do.
Is it Groundhog Day every morning? Wake up, here we go again. This is my life again. I'm bored. Like, I want to do something a bit different. And and yoga, that goes hand in hand.
I was going to say, as soon as Chelsea said yoga, I went, the positions you would be in on that. Oh, my Lord.
We don't do yoga.
How do you know?
I'm stuck.
Kelly's down. BT's down.
Terrible. Okay. What made you say, fuck it, I'm showing up exactly as I am online?
I mean, two things. Like I said, it was just like the desire to have like an outlet. And I, so as part of that journey, the partner I'd been with, who we owned the house together that I mentioned, he and I ended up separating.
Yeah.
So I found myself in my early 30s and single for the first time, really, since my early 20s. I'd kind of been a serial monogamist. That had been, my MO. And so I felt like there was this whole aspect of me that, a part of me felt like, oh, maybe I should have explored this when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, better late than never. You know what I mean? And I've really been involved with doing like boudoir photo shoots with a couple local photographers. So I kind of already had some material saved up, something like all this stuff that I'd done and created, but like hadn't shared with anyone. And so I thought, this would be fun. The idea of a little extra money appealed to me as well, if I'm being completely honest. And I just wanted to force myself to do something for me that it didn't matter whether other people understood or not. And I was scared. There was a part of me that really felt, like, what if this like ruins me, And it was quite the opposite. Like what you said, it gave me confidence because what I realized is that, I was from a tight-knit community, still living there at the time, where people everyone knows everyone's business. Also, not as much as you think they do. Not everyone's looking at you all the time, right? That's the whole
not everyone's
ego thing, the duality of ego in that way.
Yeah.
But also it's like I did start putting my stuff up. I did start promoting it a little bit on Instagram and just kind of putting it out there. And it's not like I got canceled. It's not like all of the, professionals and, people in the community that I interacted with suddenly shunned me or, I'm sure there's people that thought things and said things, but they didn't say it to my face. So, pretty quickly I realized that that's kind of how it goes. And that was empowering because I was, a really, afraid of that. I think we all have deep down like this visceral fear of like exile from the tribe, and so that was a real thing. And I do feel like it was such a part of my journey to like stand up to that feeling and be like, I'm going to do it anyway, because 90-year-old Chelsea is going to look back on it and be like, hell yeah, she did
go, girl. You go. You get that. You yoga that lingerie.
You've probably answered this one when this certain question, you've surprised a few people, but you were doing it anyway. That's fine. But wait, you're in a monogamous relationship now. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So while you're doing spicy content, how does that actually work for you both?
It's been definitely a journey and an evolution. So most of my spicy content is just, it's like myself. And so, when we first started dating, right away, I let him know pretty early on what I was up to, because I felt that was pretty important,
Yeah.
you know, to be honest and transparent.
Yeah.
And that's really my whole thing is, I mean, I think there's definitely, I think between consenting adults, there's a way to do anything and be ethical and be moral and be respectful, right? So, you know, I felt like that was important. And he was pretty open and receptive. You know, he liked the idea of pinup girls, and he was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
And in the time that he and I have been together, because we started dating at the beginning of 2022. So in the time that he and I have been together, my content has definitely evolved. It's gotten a bit more spicy.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
Yeah.
And some of that has caused tension in our relationship.
Yeah.
And you know, it's been at some points difficult to navigate, but we have navigated it, and I've, you know, explained myself and this journey I'm on, and it's like, this is what I feel like doing, and you know, maybe that'll change. And things have gone back and forth and kind of evolved and morphed over time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've, you know, kept him aware of it. I'm not hiding anything. You know, I also don't rub it in his face either, the things that I know he doesn't necessarily feel great about.
Yeah.
But very recently, he's done a few things with me too. So I think he's kind of opened up a little bit to it as well, and been a bit more interested in it, and seen how it's helped me become more confident in myself, and helped me navigate some of the personal issues that we've had in our own sex life. And how there's, you know, this way that what I'm doing over here helps our relationship too. So it's been cool to evolve, and also hard at times, but
you've got the option though, you can, if you want to, not show your face too, so people wouldn't recognize you as well, right? You do have that option,
right? I could do that, but I guess decided not to do that ship has sailed.
You get more money showing everything. You know, everything.
So. Well, that's it. That's it. If you got the package going on and you know yoga, go get it. Go get it.
But also, sorry,
No, talk away.
So you've done a few things like with your partner now. Do you introduce any adult toys into your content?
Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have.
Okay, so we're on that topic.
Where do you get them from? No, don't say it.
No.
We're
not plugging anyone else.
No, what are you doing? We'll make our own.
If you were, we will. If you were an adult product in an adult store, it could be absolutely anything. What product would you pick to be yourself?
Your personality, your everything.
To be myself, any product in an adult store. I mean, probably just like a nice, smooth, elegant, maybe pink dildo. But like a good sized one. Something, you know, that's gonna do the job.
Really,
Pretty good.
Nothing shy, nothing like elegant, graceful looking, the kind of thing that, like, you know, most women would go into the store and feel comfortable buying. But they'd also go home and be like, all right, this is it. What a fun question.
Oh, look, what did you say you were at one stage?
I was
you're a masturbator.
A twerking. I like to twerk, I like to spin, I like to thrust, I like to
suck.
One of those masturbators is what I say. Suck.
And because of her menopause, she has a warming mechanism.
Oh, there you go.
I was squirter. I was a massage one, wasn't I?
Yeah, you're a wand.
Yeah, because I'm a feisty little fucker. Yeah. I got some power.
Yeah, you do.
But I also get rid of knots.
Yep.
Everywhere. Well, let's talk sexual authenticity. What does that mean for you, and what did you have to unlearn to get there?
I mean, I feel like it's such a big topic, because I feel like it's something that really, like, so many people, you know, are dealing with trying to understand their sexual authenticity. And I feel, you know, I wasn't raised like in a religious household or anything like that. You know, we didn't go to church, so I wasn't taught any like particular moral code in that traditional way growing up. But that being said, you know, there's certainly in Western civilization, you know, influences that have been passed down for thousands of years that affect the way we perceive ourselves as women, that affect the way we perceive sexuality, that affect, you know, what's defined as like good and bad, right? When it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
And, you know, growing up, like I'm from the United States, and certainly there it's no different, and perhaps maybe even more influenced by that because of like, you know, our puritanical kind of beginnings as a country, you know, and the fact that we are very religiously rooted.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have lots of opinions about religion. I totally love the teachings of Jesus. So I'm not trying to like get into, you know, pigeonholing or trying to like put blame on anything, because I think at the end of the day, we can all agree that the blame falls on the men and the people that, you know, are able to co-opt spirituality and any other systems of belief to make people behave a certain way or act a certain way or be controlled. And I think part and parcel of all of that is, you know, human sexuality. I think sexuality is such an individual thing. It's such a way to express yourself. And it really is different for everyone. You know, certain things that to some people might feel good or excite them might be totally a turnoff to somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Because again, for me, my perception is it goes back to consenting adults and also being a conscious adult, being aware of yourself, knowing why you're making the choices you're making. And that was part of my journey too, was looking back on certain choices I'd made and having to admit to myself that they weren't fully in my integrity, that I had, you know, felt pressured or felt like I needed to perform or was looking for validation or just, you know what I mean? Like all the things. And so, you know, being able to see those things for what they are and not judge myself and forgive myself, and also say, and that doesn't mean that I have to go over here and like deny that whole part of myself either, because maybe there's a way that I can have this and also do it from a centered, grounded place within myself where I can be like, okay, well, this is a fantasy that I've always desired, or I have always wanted to be seen in this way. And how can I create that for myself and not have to seek it, you know, from somebody else or from some situation or whatever, which actually in the end could be way more damaging to my relationship or the other things I'm trying to do in my life. And so that's one of the things that I feel like is a big like connection point between the stuff I do with OnlyFans and then my work as like an intuitive coach is, you know, you might have heard the term for like shadow work, which is really just people, you know, looking at your own shadow, looking at those parts of yourself that you've repressed and suppressed, and trying to like dig into that material to find out how you can integrate it in a way that's healthy. And for me, my OnlyFans is something that I have control over. I'm calling the shots. It's benefiting my life. And so to me, that's a healthy outlet for these things that maybe before were coming out in unhealthy ways, causing arguments with my partners in the past, or causing me to act out. You know, I've cheated on partners in the past. I've done things that I'm not proud of because I wasn't honoring that other part of me.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how do I see that part of myself, recognize her, and then like welcome her in and create a space where she can like do her thing and it be not damaging to the rest of my life. Yeah. And so that's for me a lot of what sexual authenticity is about, because I think so many people, you know, have their things that they're not talking about. And I mean, I think it's really sad because I also think sexual authenticity is so important to good relationships. I mean, I feel like there's so many people in unhappy relationships because they can't express what they really want.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it just is like a downhill spiral.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's it. And it's like it in what we do in the adult store and how you were touching on before about how everyone's different. That's why there's so many different products out there, and what some people don't like, others love.
Yeah.
And that's why we never guarantee what we sell. It's up to the user.
Yeah.
But also when couples come in, you can actually see certain one couple going, well, you need this, and the person would be, I don't want this. And it's sort of, they're not connecting and communicating too. So,
Yeah.
well, okay, real talk. What are the pros of porn, and what should people actually be cautious about?
Yeah, again, I think this is a really interesting topic because, I mean, again, I don't think it's like mutually exclusive to be able to be pro porn and anti porn at the same time. Because, on the one hand, I do think it can be highly addictive.
Yeah.
I do think it can cause problems, for people, young men, young women, but I think a lot young men, that are just like, that's like their dopamine fix. It's their outlet.
Yes.
And it's a reason to not get out there and meet people, to not foster real relationships. It can create, a false narrative of what sex is, depending on what kind of porn they're watching.
Yeah.
So again, I mean, there's some stuff that I totally would be like, not for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that being said, again, I think it's like, if you're mindful and are aware of what you're using and how you're using it, it's the difference between, having a glass of wine a couple times a week and being a raging alcoholic, right?
Mhm.
I think there's room in the human experience for both of those things. And so for me, it's kind of funny. I've had times in my life when I did watch porn, with partners, not a lot, but occasionally.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older, it's actually less and less and less. So I really consume barely any of it. But, I feel like what I do, I feel squarely like ethical about it. Like I said, it's mostly just myself. No one's forcing me. It's like, and that's one of the things I really like about OnlyFans is it's a platform for creators where you can have a connection with them if you want. You can message them, you can kind of create a dialogue. And like, these people are doing it, I think, by and large for themselves. It's a way for people to get out there and do their thing and make money. And it's like very different than finding some sketchy website online and there's like a dark lit video and you have no idea, like, is this girl like on drugs? Like, did she choose? You know what I mean? Like, there's just like, there's such a spectrum of content out there. And it is the sad reality that there's things that exist that are horrible and that should just not exist.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think that's a reason to throw out the baby with the bathwater when there's a whole nother side of it that, can be used in a way that can benefit people's relationships or that can inspire people or, whatever it needs to do.
Find your own niche, what works for you.
Because some can make it unrealistic. We do hear people, women aren't liking it. That's when we go, well, there's educational DVDs or there's couple friendly where it's a storyline. So it's like a movie with just a bit more erotic.
Gangbang.
Yeah, it's not scene after scene after scene.
Yep.
Excuse me. But yeah, there are ones that can work for them. The cheaper you go a $10 one, you get what you give them.
Yeah.
Like there'll be a little bit of everything in that one. If someone's listening and is curious about more of being more expressive or even starting a spicy page, that's us. What's your biggest advice?
My biggest advice is to hone that intuition and to stay connected to yourself, because it will evolve as you go along. Whatever you start off doing and whatever your boundaries might be, those are probably going to change, one way or the other, or both, And like I mentioned with OnlyFans, it is unique in the way that your fans can message you, they can reach out to you. So going into it knowing that if you're in a relationship, for example, it's like, well, what is your boundary with that? Are you going to be sexting with people too? Because maybe your partner's okay with the pictures and the videos, but not with you having a connection to these people. Or maybe you're not comfortable with it, you know? So it's learning to navigate that, and then learning to navigate like the requests that come in, because people will send in requests for different things. And some of them are like completely reasonable. You see a lot of men that have a lot of guilt and shame for their own desires, and they're embarrassed or hesitant to ask for a picture or a video or something. And I love those, because I feel like that's such a great safe space that I can create for them, so that they can honor their masculinity and not feel like they have to like hide this part of themselves, or else they're going to be considered like a predator or a bad, you know what I mean? Like how men also have their own sexual dysfunction. And so there's that aspect of it. And then, you know, being able to navigate those requests, I think, in a safe and respectful way is also important, because you don't want to just be like blowing these people off or telling them they're sickos or something. It's like learning how to decline people politely, which again is something that as women we should be learning from day one, but often we're not. And so if you're thinking about starting an OnlyFans page, it's going to be a whole journey for you, but hopefully a positive one, and hopefully one where it helps you realize that you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed for something to be okay, and then for it to not be okay, and that's you're right.
Perfectly said. When are you doing it?
You're hilarious. Hilarious. So we're just going to do a quick sort of get to know, well, not you, just a quick answer, like a questionnaire. It's
no or hell yes.
Hell yeah, or no or hell yeah.
No or hell yeah. Okay.
Performing intimacy on camera. No or hell yeah.
Performing intimacy on yes.
That's a hell yes.
Hell yes.
Hell yes.
Hell yes. I love it. People who say porn ruins relationships.
Nah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Keeping your spicy side secret from your friends.
No.
No. How are you meant to hide that, really?
Especially with you. we can't hide anything. We can read each other's eyes.
I know.
Sexy DMs from strangers, entertaining or exhausting?
Both.
Okay.
Honestly, both.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Content creation equals modern day empowerment.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes. You just can't shut her up sometimes. Send nudes from a subscriber who hasn't tipped. Yeah.
Free ride, buddy.
No. Go into an adult store and buy the DVD then.
Oh, explaining OnlyFans to your grandma. Every grandma's different.
I haven't had to do that, nor will I have to, but that would be
Grandma's going to be on OnlyFans.
Wouldn't it be funny if she turns around and goes, what's your name on there? I'm on there too.
That's too funny.
Filters on spicy content. Yes, please, or let it be raw.
I've gone both ways.
Yep. Says Kelly. So your pants.
It's not fucking hot. Oh. Partner approved content versus full creative freedom.
I mostly go with full creative freedom. Like I said, there's somewhat don't ask, don't tell. And we're fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Posting during a breakup, hot or healing?
For me, it was healing.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Asking for consent before reposting spicy clips.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Replying to thirsty comments with sarcasm.
Sometimes.
Depends, right?
Yeah.
They're going to bring it. Look, buckle up, buddy. Buckle up. All right. You talk. Your voice sounds really good. You are.
I'm just getting over the flu.
I know. It's why it sounds good, because it sounded
Hi, honey.
Yeah. sounded shit last week.
I did.
I thought I was sitting next to my neighbour.
You're such a dick. Okay, what's one thing most people don't understand about women creating spicy content?
I think there is a perception a little bit. A lot of the other women I have talked to who aren't, a huge fan of what I'm doing, but are like, respectful. They're, they don't hold it against me.
Yeah.
I think that there's a perception that it does play into like, the degradation of women, or some kind of like patriarchal women are less than, that it's kind of a thing for men, generated by men, and that it's like can be exploitative. And I would say that all of those things can be true, and have been true, and are true. And like I said before, there's all kinds of stuff going on that's not good, when it comes to sex work. That being said, I think that it's really unfair to say that that's what it is. And so to call it bad because, that is going on in certain areas, right? And so, I think a lot of women, like myself included, that are doing it are, we did it for us. Like, not for, like, if anything, people would have told us not to do it. Like, there was no man, no boyfriend, no partner being like, you should do this. Or there was no part of me that felt like I need to do this in order to feel like validated as a woman, or I need to do this to be sexy. It was more like, fuck men. Like, that's where I was at when I started.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck men, and fuck the narrative that I can't be sexual and also a good partner, that I can't be sexual and also a mother someday, that I can't be sexual and also have a strong moral compass. And so for me, that was what it was about, is I was like, I can be all of these things and I can be this. So watch me.
Oh, you go.
That's too many judging people. Hey. Too many judging people around, and it's just like, you know what? It's my fucking life, and I'll do what I want with it. And if you don't like it, then scroll back or scroll on and
don't look at it.
Yeah.
Like, but the ones that judge are the dicks of the.
Well, they're the ones that need to come and see an adult story vibrator.
Yeah, big
or a
for real.
Yes.
Masturbator, the one that dances and spins.
Yeah.
They need a slap with a double-ended dong.
Do you want me to go?
Oh, you do.
Sure,
you go.
Sure.
You got the glasses on.
Yeah, I can read. What's been the best unexpected perk of showing up as your fully expressed self?
I mean, there's been so many perks. I mean, one of the biggest ones is I think that, proving to myself that I wasn't going to be like completely ostracized for my sexuality did help me show up more authentically on my spiritual journey. It's helped me in my coaching and, on that journey of content creation, of like putting my stuff out there on Instagram, the things I believe, like my wisdom, the lessons and experiences I've alchemized, like all of that, I feel like has really been helped too by my sexual expression, because I feel like, again, I don't know what it's like there in Australia necessarily, but I know in the United States, there's like a big group of people that are really like, if you can't see it, measure it, make a scientific observation about it, then it's not real. And so there's like kind of this divide, right, between people that are willing to see the unseen or be open-minded to it, and people that are just like, it's not real. Like, God is dead. There is no spirit. You know what I mean? And so being around a lot of people that think that way, it can be really limiting. You get really focused on like the material world, and that's just life, and that's what it is. And, it can be hard to speak up as a spiritual person when you're not coming from like a traditional Christian framework or a traditional framework that fits one of these boxes. And so when you're kind of out here in this like non-box box, at first you're like, oh, people are going to think I'm like this woo-woo person. And it's like, yeah, I am a woo-woo person. Get
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not afraid of it. It's like, yeah, I'm a sexual person too. Get over it. Like, I'm a human being. I'm spiritual and I'm sexual. Like, newsflash. You know what I mean?
Newsflash, dick cheese. Yeah.
Newsflash.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's been really good.
Yeah. Oh, good on you. Finish your sentence. The sexiest thing someone can do in a relationship is.
The sexiest thing someone can do in a relationship is be honest about their desires.
Love that. That's it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Desires and fantasies. So
yeah, and you don't need to hide it. Like you need to express it at some stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, perfect. What else you got?
I've been asking along the way.
Okay. God, you can ask me everything. Look, I think we've covered. I think we've covered a lot. Look, Chelsea, we really appreciate your time. A massive thanks to you. And it's super early over there too. So we really, really appreciate it. And for bringing the heat, the honesty, and all the juicy bits in between.
If you've ever wondered whether you can be hot, healed, and hella real, Chelsea just gave you a masterclass. Hit follow, rate us a 5 spicy stars, and remember, there's no normal way to be sexy, just your way.
A quick thing now. You speak not just English, you speak Spanish?
A little bit.
Do you know what spicy bananas is in Spanish?
The word banana is completely not in my head. If it wasn't 7 a.m. here, maybe I'd remember.
I know, sorry.
Manzana's apple. I can think of like apple orange, not banana.
Well, what even? Spicy?
What's spicy?
Caliente.
Say it again.
Caliente.
Okay. Caliente bananas. Yeah.
Picante. Yeah.
Cante?
Picante.
Oh. We're not that spicy. Right. Well, we are. We are spicy. That leaves a big opening there, doesn't it?
Big opening. Yeah, thanks so much, Chelsea. It's been really good getting to know you and opening up what you actually do, especially with the OnlyFans, like being the creator and the content, and just open people's minds. And people stop sitting on your lounge and judging people.
Oh, massively. And opening people's eyes to the taboo subject of these sort of sites. But making people understand.
It's keeping certain people off the streets too, to a degree. You know, you've got to think there's some nasty people out there, and if there aren't different women like yourself there to help with different urges, then you got to wonder
where else are they going to go? What are they going to do?
So, but again,
absolutely.
So thank you so much. You have a beautiful day while we get ready for bed. Well,
we're in our pajamas.
No, honestly, I mean, facilitating these kinds of conversations is so great. I mean, when I saw what you guys were doing with the show, I was like, of course I want to be on there. I mean, who else, even the people that do support me don't even feel comfortable talking. So it's like so great to have this conversation. I mean, what you're facilitating is really wonderful and needed. It's, it's unique. So good on you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We wish you all the best.
Thank you
so much. Chelsea.
Thanks, Chelsea.